I'm gonna keep an eye on the augurs. Hyunju, can you keep an eye on the
4, 3, 2, 1.
what do you call it? Whoever does the mantle. The mantle is what killed us last time, I think. I'll keep an eye on the augur. I can lock it down pretty well. I think I can. But you're on heroism, obviously. Nice. Good. Good here, I think. Keep an eye on the augur again. And the mantle's out. Anybody kick the guy in the back? Guy in the back is like problematic. And the mantle's out. Fire guy. Hey Sheriff, how are you? Oh, you gotta get some damage out. Coming in, dude. Wow, I love these guys like running to the mile. The next pull, you definitely want to be in melee. They don't go anywhere, it's back there. Wait for you guys. We always go this way, everybody goes this way though. It's normal. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it, dude. I will get the kick on the augur. There we go. It's really not bad. Just the augurs and the mantle you need to kick in, and you're fine. Very sneaky, Genju. Very sneaky indeed. You can probably get the I'll keep an eye on the augur again. Can't kick the augur anymore. Almost dead though. Nice. Perfect. Trying to get out of the mantle. Yeah, see? Much easier, guys. Much easier. Ah. don't really want to count problems later, so let me just grab this guy. This guy's not gonna do shit. I'll kick the auger. Just keep an eye on the auger. Can you keep an eye on the auger if you can? I'll be right back. I'm gonna get the caster real quick. A second. I'll keep an eye on the auger again. I lost the auger. Shit. Where's the auger on this pile of shit? There he is. Yep. Yeah, we're doing much better. Yeah. Kitchen's doing a lot of damage too. Whew. Nice job, guys. Let's get the boss. You guys are mostly okay. Got mana. Let's go. Iliad. Let's make it easy. I feel like the music game volume's a little low. I don't know what you guys think. Oh my god. Yo! Hydrax, thank you for the huge raid. Holy crap, how are you, man? Damn, dude. Hydrax, we just depleted the 21 earlier. It's very sad. It was very sad, dude. Also, Hydrax, I made a new redeem. Hold on one second.
You have got to be freaking kidding me.
Really? How many 26s did you get? Can we get a shot of Hydrax? Thank you for the humongous raid, dude. Oh my god. A little hungover, unfortunately. Only clean keys. That's crazy, dude. Dude, thank you for the huge raid. Trying to, Hydrax, for the push key night, you know I want to use guest star, right? Did we talk about that? I think it'll be cool to have our cameras on the screen. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, everybody has the screen up. Because then it'll, you know, it'll be unique. We'll have like a bunch of people like on the left. You know what I mean? Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, good morning. Does that make sense? We'll talk about it. But I think that'll be cool. I've never seen like 4 or 5 people collaborating. We're gonna be pushing 8s. We'll 3 chest them into 11s. It's pretty good stuff. Does anybody have an AoE, an AoE interrupt? Oh shit. Oh my god. Hey, good morning, Chili. How are you? How's it going, dude? Oof. Hey, XR. Thanks for the like. How are you? Bobby, to your earlier question, that's how most people go. They go that way, basically. I'm not doing anything, anything special, really. See where Razan is, though. I'm doing okay. We had a little trouble with somebody leaving an earlier key, but it's not been too bad this one. I gotta check if we should go get Razan now. Should we get Razan? We should. Oh my god. Hey Jen, thanks for sharing live. Yo, what's up Marzi? Yeah, I'm always on early on Sunday and Saturday. I was looking for a healer, Marzi. Where were you? It's bad. We had a pug leave. It was terrible, Marzi. Alright. Let's see where Razan is. It's like over here. I think we can drop down here. Where is he? Yeah, of course, of course. Get him in position here.
Four, three, two, one.
He's targeting. Oh, I'm feared. Looks like he's coming after Shenju. Yo, what's up, Dol? Hey, Marzi. Perfect. Nice job so far. Oh, we gotta kill Razan, dude. A lot of raptors too here.
3, 2, 1.
Let's see who he's targeting. He's targeting Bobby. Bobby, run. Yo! It is a 21, dude. Don't usually people jump down to get Razan? Or no? Bobby knows to run. Run, Bobby, run. Run for your life. Nice. Good job. Oof. This goddamn dinosaur. Good job, guys.
4, 3, 2,
Do we have enough
1.
time to keep this one? Who's he targeting? He's targeting Yutanju? Yutanju, run! I don't think I let the tank. I just followed the oh shit. Yeah, I wasn't sure when to get Razan, so I just dropped. Good job though. Nice job, guys, nice job. And he's dead. Easy, boss. You just do a quick interrupt here. Hydrax, what keys did you do? In total? Don't mind me asking. 25 a tall, 25 B. $26 EV, you timed the 26 EV? Holy shit. That's crazy. Can't believe it. Nice job, dude. You're gonna put that on YouTube? That's definitely worthy of YouTube if you're wondering. It's the gorilla. Right. Okay. Most depleted or unfinished? Oh, I thought you did you time 26 EB? Watch out for your back. Alright. Hey, we finally did my first 26. Hey, nice, congrats. Did you guys do a 27 throne? 27 thrones? What do we have left? Believe it or not, Bobby, we're doing really good on time here. Like, we're crushing. Oh. Yo, Jedi, good morning, man. How are you? Ugh. Getting up at 7 was a big mistake. Already have 26 BRH AD time, was just trying to change keys. Ah, I gotcha, I gotcha. Dude, you're doing an awesome job. Have you reached out to anybody in ANZ to be partnered with Blizzard? I feel like you could do it, dude. What do you mean? This is the normal route, except for the Razan thing. Come on, dude. Good route.
G'day, mate.
Yo,
G'day, mate.
Hey, we got a new redeem.
G'day, mate.
I put in. Check it out. Alright, let's see if there's anything else going on here. Watch out, one's really low. Start killing them, guys. Start killing, start killing. Just kill them all, kill them all. That came in with Drax raid. Ooh, 27 Rise, that's a dead key. Good fucking luck, dude. Rise is the worst. Like, terrible on Fortified and Tyrannical. Nice, nice. I missed slime everywhere. Yo, Wizard, thank you for 37 months, dude. We are 49 or 35 out of 100 for the partner plus. We're making our way.
You have got to be frickin' kidding me.
What do you think, Izrael? How did I do? I was trying to get it to work last night for 30 minutes. It didn't work last night for some reason. And then this morning it worked. Thank you for the 37 months, dude. The car is crushed to bejesus. I should do a random one with Carl. Hydrax is actually pumping, I'm just doing okay. Alright guys, here comes the main event. Get this boss, seriously. Alright. It's 21 user. Good morning, how are you? Here we go. I don't think our heroism's gonna come up though. Wait, what's wrong with Marzi? Oh, mammoth glitch, yeah. Here come the spiders. Yeah, I don't know how that spider didn't hit me. This boss surely sucks. Oh. That was close. Almost killed Kitchen. Oh, guys, we got this. We got this. Moving away from these spiders. Omegon is lit as a raid. How many bosses are there? And does anything drop epics or is it all blues? How does it work? Almost there, guys. Almost there. Need to get through all these spiders. It's Bobby. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, come on, die. You guys are just joining, we're doing viewer keys? Don't get the problem, we are doing viewer keys on retail. Okay, we got this. Got this. Just gotta avoid that. Stand in the corner, maybe? Easy, boss. Nice job, guys. Easy 2 chest. I think they just ran in different directions, Scriv. I probably should have moved them more in a circle, to be honest. Nice job, guys. 23 rise. Yikes. Yikes, Hydrax. Yo, Legacy, thank you for the follow. How are you this morning? We are doing viewer keys, guys. You are the worst tank ever. That route was absolute garbage. I think it was pretty